Hi everyone, welcome to our webinar. Welcome to another interactive Q&A with TalentLMS. Let's get started. I'm Theo, I'm part of the customer enablement team, and today with my good colleague Nick, we're here to answer any question you have about different topics related to TalentLMS features.
Hi from me as well. I'm Nick, and I always love these webinars. So we're looking forward to seeing which topics you're going to select and answer your questions live.
And you'll hear from Nick in a moment more, but now let me just remind you what the deal is here. First, you choose the topic. In the registration form, you were aware of the 3 different polls that we will shoot live. So every 15 minutes, a poll will go live, you'll choose a topic, and then we'll answer your questions related to that. Remember, the poll is anonymous. Nobody's going to see your choice, but all we want is to see which topic all of you will choose, so that way we focus on that. And to ask your questions, use the Q&A section in the Zoom controls. And you can again ask your questions anonymously, but of course, we would love to hear your name, so that way we can have a direct chat with you as well. So if you're ready, let's start and let's send out the very first poll for the day. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put out the first topic. So what do you think it is? Is it e-commerce or is it discussions? Just a reminder, e-commerce with TalentLMS allows you to connect your own PayPal or your own Stripe, so that way you will be able to sell courses with TalentLMS and of course be able to share your training and have paid customers as well. Discussions, as a reminder, is a way for you to create forum-like learner discussions, literally, in TalentLMS, so that way you can have people interact with each other even outside of your course. So I can see here that we have 90% favored discussions. So let's do this. Let me end the poll, share the results. And of course, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and leave the floor to Nick, so that way you can send any questions and Nick can answer them. I can already see a couple of questions on the Q&A, so you're fast.
And now if I have done everything as I should, you should be able to see my screen. And first off, while I want to give you some time, remember that I have some questions. I want to see more from you. So in regards to the discussions, as you see right now, I'm logged in as the admin. The admin does not really see the discussions. So when we're talking about discussions, we're talking about a feature that is instructor related. So I will need to swap over myself to being an instructor. And as you see right now that I'm an instructor, I have the ability to see the discussions. So not only can I see them and see what is available, but also I can click on new topic and create a new one if I actually want. So I see a question here from John. And John is asking what happens when I subscribe to a discussion. Okay, very, very classic question. So let's say I have a discussion that is available here. And as you can see, I am here in the discussion. Indeed, I see different people contributing, right? They're talking about it. So if I really want, I have the ability to click on the subscribe button up here. So what will happen when somebody does click on that and they subscribe? First of all, who can do this? Everybody. This goes for your learners. This is for your instructors. If your admins as well impersonate an instructor or a learner, they can do it as well. So pretty much everybody by default will have the ability to subscribe to a discussion. Why would you want to do that? Well, if you are subscribed to a discussion, then what basically happens is when updates are posted to the discussion, you get notified via the system. So if my learner sees this topic and thinks that this is an interesting topic for them, and then they can actually click on the subscribe button. And then when somebody posts, they will be notified about it. Not only that, but so first off, they will receive a message in here, right? So somebody is actually subscribed and they will get the message in TalentLMS. In addition to that, You see, I swapped myself over to admin. This is because in my events engine, I can actually see my system notifications. And you will notice that if I scroll all the way down here, reply to discussion. So the discussion by default in TalentLMS has a notification that's going to go out. So if I'm subscribed on a specific discussion that I'm interested in, then by default, this is the message that's going to go out when somebody replies on the topic that I have actually subscribed into that. So keep that in mind. Very easy. And of course, it's very handy for your learners to subscribe if they just want to follow the topic. I see a question from Sandra. You're asking if you can insert images and tables into a discussion. Very nice question. So let's see together. You could click here. Again, I made myself an instructor, add discussion. So I can add my discussion. And as you see, I can add the topic, I can add the message, and you have the ability to attach a file into it. So it's not exactly similar to the rich text editor where we have in other parts of TalentLMS, especially where you're creating the content, but you can attach the files that you want so you can have them as an attachment. So I do hope this makes sense. Now, I see a question from somebody else. Unfortunately, you haven't given us your name, which is fine. Is there a way to set up so that all users get notifications whenever anyone starts a discussion? The answer is not really, but there is a reason behind that. First of all, who can start the discussions? By default, a discussion is created by an instructor, which brings us to the next question. Who is the discussion for? Who can see it? Who can participate? Well, if I'm going to make a new discussion here, so I click on new topic, then, okay, I can create my topic and set up, the actual title and the message for the discussion. You'll see I have three options in regards to what can be done with the discussion. I can have this private. If this is private, basically it means that I'm the only person that can see that. So I can use it kind of as a personal note-keeping board or like a personal messaging board, and then maybe I can release it to the public later. Also, I can have this available for everybody, which means, again, everybody can see this discussion. Or I can have it set it up so that only specific users can see this topic. If I have this option, I can pick people from either a specific course or a specific group. I cannot pick two courses. I cannot pick two groups. I cannot pick one course and one group. It has to be one thing, which can be either a course or a group. So I could say that this specific discussion is going to be in regards to this course. So this practically is going to limit the availability of the people that can see it to only the people that are actually enrolled within this course. Or if I scroll all the way down, I see my groups. Maybe I just want to make this available to my marketing group. So then only the people within the marketing group, regardless of what courses they are enrolled to, they will be able to see and participate in this specific topic. So keep in mind that the reason why there is no kind of an automatic thing to notify people about the discussion is pretty much because the discussion is something that usually is targeted. So when you have a discussion, probably you want to target exactly the people that are going to be the intended audience for this discussion. I see a question as well from an anonymous attendee here. And they're asking, can people in a branch see discussions? Very nice question. So as you see, I have a couple of discussions here. And we just mentioned before that our discussions can either be open for everybody or completely private, or I can lock them to a confines of a course or a group. But what happens with the branch? Well, As you're going to see here, I have 5 discussions available. So what I'm going to do, I'll just go over to one of my branches. I will remain an instructor. And as you see, this is my branch, which is for my French people, so it is in French. And now if I go to the discussions, you're going to see that I have only 2. And these 2 actually are not the same as the ones that I had on my main site. Why is this? Well, the answer really has to do with the discussion itself. So if I just go into this specific discussion, and if you see here on the top, I know it's kind of small, so not easy to look at, but if you see up here, my web address is not my main site. It is the web address of my branch. So pretty much keep in mind that when you have a discussion, it is created locally. So by default, discussions, they work pretty much like gamification. They are specifically targeted to the branch that you actually have created them. So if they are on the main site, then only people from the main site can see them. If they are on the branch, then the people from that specific branch only can see them. You would need to go to the branch to get access to it. Theo, is it time perhaps for our second poll?
Yes, and actually there was a lot of good questions about discussions, and thanks, Nick, for answering all of them. I think that we have a very interesting combination of topics as well for the second poll. So let me just go and push out the next poll. So there you should have it. So here we go. Let's pick the second topic. I have a feeling which one is going to be based on some questions that we have already received. But what it is it infographics or is it user sign-up methods? So just a quick overview of infographics. Infographics is a great way for you to visualize data right away without having to do the visual aspect of the work. And that's something you can export easily and share with stakeholders. And the user sign-up methods, of course, there are plenty. And these can include people that directly sign up for TalentLMS. You can add them and import them with an Excel file, or you can use SSO. As we still have a battle here going on.
That's a very close one.
Yes, but as we still have a battle here going on, I'm going to answer a very quick question that came up from an anonymous attendee on the Q&A section. And the question is, do you have an ETA for the new UI? My friend, the new UI, the new interface, as we call it, is already here. So I'll take the chance to answer a couple of questions here about the new UI as well. But for now, I think the poll is done. And as Nid said, very, very close with each other. So now you should see the results yourself. Just with a fraction of a difference, user sign-up methods win. So you can see it on your screen as well. Now, let's stop sharing the poll and let's start sharing my screen. And what you will actually see here is that I am still logged in the legacy interface, as we call it. But very quickly, as you are typing your questions, and I already see one here, which I will answer right away, let me show you how you can get to the new interface, and we're gonna answer a couple of questions about users there. First of all, in your legacy interface, you can go to account settings and click on new interface. And there you have the option to click activate. When you do that, your learners will see the new interface, and also your admins, your instructors, everybody pretty much will be using the new interface. If you don't activate it for everybody though, but you still want to use it, just go to admin and then go to, or your name pretty much, not just admin, right? But we happen to be admins here, most of us. So you go to your name and then you go to try now the interface, and drum roll, here it is. If you want to go back to the legacy, you just again hover on your name and then click to go to legacy interface. But since we're here, I'm going to answer the question that is already in the Q&A. And again, we have a couple of them already, but bring more. My anonymous friend here is saying, can you please tell me if there's an SSO option for the new UI? There is a way to manage that with the old one, but I cannot find it with the new one. Yes, there is. So just have a look at here. You can go to the account settings, and of course you go to users. Now you see users is just a second option, like the legacy interface. And you have the user creation, defaults, and all the usual settings. But now you have login settings here. At my portal, it's disabled, but of course, I can go ahead and choose which SSO provider I want. For example, let's go with SAML. And there, this is where your IT person comes into the picture. You go ahead and configure the related fields, and then again, work with the settings, save, and that should be able to do it. And remember, you have the option, especially with SAML here, to either rely only on the SSO or have the option to have the, let's say, the typical login page where you can type your username and password manually, and at the same time below that have the option to log in with SSO. So yes, the option is there, so you can very easily go ahead and use that on the new interface as well. So a couple of other questions about the users. Right, so Julia is asking, what is the difference between email verification and admin activation? Great question. What Julie is referring to, for anybody else in here, is the ability to sign up, not manually, so the users don't rely on me as an admin or you as an admin to upload them, but you can choose direct. When you use direct, you allow people to go in and create their account right away on your portal. Now, the verification options are plenty here. And the email verification is when you ask them to receive an email to activate their user profile by email. Anyways, you will ask for their email, but the email verification allows them to wait for an email, click on the activate button there, and then be able to use their account. But pretty much everything that we sign up these days required to do that. So that's a very standard process for anyone. I'm sure everybody has done it before. The admin activation, on the other hand, it's the people are able to go ahead and sign up, but they will not be able to log in and use the account yet unless you as an admin go ahead and activate their profile. And you can do that from the email that you receive as an admin, click activate, job done from there. It's just a different way for you to gatekeep a little bit more, or email verification, you know that you want people to sign up, you allow them to sign up, they do the activation themselves without waiting for you to do it. Let's see what other questions we have. Right. Pascal is asking, do you intend to enforce the switch to the new interface soon? No, Pascal, the new interface is there. We are very happy to see people using it, and definitely we encourage you strongly to use it. But the legacy interface will be there for plenty of time, so that way you can also use what you have already been used to. But we really like you to have a look at the new interface and see how this can change the learning experience for your new users. Let's see another one. So I can see, Pascal, why you cannot use it right now. All right, no problem. I can see that you're looking for a couple of missing features, and I understand that. We are in the period where we are achieving almost all sparsity with the previous features as well. So with the regular releases that we are doing as time goes by, you will be able to have all of the features that you know, and of course, later on, more new features. So I know, just a bit of patience there, and we'll get to that. Let's say, my anonymous friends, you did say that when you change the new interface, it will break SSO. It shouldn't break the SSO. The SSO works anyways with your TalentLMS, so the settings should be the same. But if you have any trouble or any messages that you get when you try to log in with your known SSO configuration, but in the new UI, please send us an email. I'm gonna pop it on the chat right now. That's gonna be our support team's email, help@talentlms.com. But since you might already have access to the account, of course, you have the option to go to the help center here, have a look at the knowledge base or contact support, just open a ticket here, write your issue if you want, attach a screenshot. Our team loves that because they can easily identify what's happening, and you will get assistance shortly. Let's see what else we have. Right, so we've answered this one. Okay, so Heather is asking, can we see or experience what the users will see with a new interface before we launch it? Absolutely, Heather. So let me show you a trick that you can, of course, use in the legacy, but also now in the new interface. When you go to the users, right, I can go to my friend Aaron right here, or let's say a learner. I'm gonna look for Pacify because I know that That's a user that we have been using a lot. Again, this is a demo environment, so we have dedicated data here. So you can hover on the user, and then you see you can log in as. So once you click that, you will be able to log in as that particular user. So now you see, I'm not myself anymore. I'm good to pacify here. So that way I will be able to just go ahead and have a look at what that learner would see. So I hope that helps. And there is another question as well. What is the difference between the interface? That's again from my anonymous friend. Well, the difference between the interface is that you have the option to have a fully new, very intuitive, very quick and easy interface to work with. I know that the legacy interface was also very intuitive and everybody loved it, but it's time to change. It's time to revamp the way that TalentLMS looks and, of course, the way that TalentLMS works. So the new interface is, and here you can go back to admin, right? So the new interface is not just a matter of looks, it's a matter of functionality, and it's a matter of taking TalentLMS to the next level. We encourage you to have a look again and work on the legacy and work on the new interface. And as the features complete, as we go on and as new features get introduced in due time, definitely you will have a lot to look for in the new interface. I think we have a bit of time for a couple more questions. So let's see what else we have. Right, so Jack is asking, when creating a new user, can you set the account to become active at a set date rather than straight away? I'm afraid not, but that's an excellent feature. But we can do the opposite. So if I go to users, and again, I'm just gonna use Arrow now, doesn't matter who it is. You have the option to go to the info of that user, and going further down, you have the option to deactivate at, and you can set, let's say, the calendar date that you want that person to be deactivated. Would it be amazing if we had this option to activate at? Absolutely. So what I'm going to do after the session is note that type of feedback down. So please bring it forward and relay that to our product management team so that way they will be able to review that, and if it's going to be added in the roadmap, we'll find out in the future. But that's a great set of feedback. For now, you can just deactivate on a date, but not activate. Let's see what Sandra is asking. How can I find out if I have registered participants who haven't booked any course and have them deleted after, for example, 3 months following a verification? So that's a lot of items in a question. So we would need to discuss this a little bit more in detail. What I would recommend, Sandra, is to drop us an email. I'm going to add it right here. That is success@talentlms.com. And that is the direct email to our team, the customer enablement team. So we'll get back to you on that. But on top of my head, we're looking mostly for a customer report. I just want to get an example of a user, the courses you want, and what you mean by following a verification. So please drop us an email and we'll take it from there. And let's see what else we have. Mehmet is asking. Thank you, Mehmet, as well for being here. Will they auto-enroll the learners to the course before purchase? They have to pay every 2 years.
So let me take this because this is actually follow-up. I wrote the first part of the answer. So what we are looking about here is about a course that is going to be automatically renewed, basically for your learners. So let me just share my screen really quick and show you. So as you see, I'm the admin. I can do this as an admin or as an instructor, but I'm just going to swap as an instructor to do that. And in here, let's say I have this course and this is a repeatable course. I can go to the settings, so edit course, all the way down. If I connect this to one specific certificate, then I can tell my system this certificate is going to be valid for however many years you want. And then you can click reassign course to the user when it expires. So essentially, this will reassign the user to the course pretty much. So it was going to reset their progress and they have to take it from zero. If this is a paid course, then they will not be able to repeat the payment because the system, since they were already in the course, they will just go through it again. So keep that in mind. If you're having a paid course, just have the certificate expire, but not have it be automatically reassigned to it pretty much. So you can just remove and re-add the user to the course if needs be. So I hope this makes sense. I also see a question here that I really, really like, but actually it has to do with our next poll. So I was about to think to write an answer to Tori in regards to the question about assignments, but our next poll does have assignments in there, right? So how about Theo? Actually, I stop sharing and we bring up our next poll.
Yes, let's do it. And please, no spoilers, Nick. So let me just launch the third poll. So here we have, as Nick very well told already, we have assignments and we have surveys. So let's see, just a difference between surveys and assignments. What is a survey? A survey is what you would use as a feedback survey. Exactly what we'll do after the webinar, right? So you could have within TalentLMS custom build surveys that said, did you like the course? Was the instructor easy to understand, easy to follow? Do you have any comments? As a Likert scale question, from 1 to 5, how would you rate that course? And of course, you can create this as custom as you like in TalentLMS. Assignments, on the other hand, is where you have the option to provide learners with a question, and they can answer with text, with video, with audio, with screen sharing and screen recording. So you have lots of options for the, or by uploading a file. So you have lots of options for you to receive answers from your learners with an assignment. So I can see the poll here is almost done. So assignments seem to win. Let's end the poll, share the results, and you see with me as well that assignments are the winner topic. So Nick, off to you.
Right, so let me share my screen once more. And there we are. And actually then, Tori, instead of me replying to you here in the chat, now I can actually cover this live, right? So your question, can assignments be uploaded from our own files or do we have to type them in? Very nice question. And basically, first off, who is creating the assignments? Usually it is the instructor, but sometimes it's also the admin. It basically depends on who is responsible in your setup in regards to creating the courses. So I have myself as an instructor. This is a course here, and you're actually going to see that I have an assignment. And because I'm not really imaginative, I actually called it assignment. So if I will edit this, first of all, you see that we have our advanced editor here. So you can actually, insert images or tables or links if you want, or maybe you just want to use a hyperlink to an external website if that is what you want for people to click. And then you can have your question. Now, if I look at it, you're going to see that essentially I have my question and people have, of course, different ways to answer. So kind of when you're asking if we need to type the question in, the answer is kind of a yes and no in the same time. Yes, you can type their answer, sure, but also you can link to it if you want. And a classic thing that a lot of people do in TalentLMS is that they have the ability within the course to actually share files. So if you have shared files within the course, well, you could just have a file that has, a couple of data. So maybe I'm teaching people Excel. So I have a file with data and people I want them to create a pie chart or whatever, right? In an assignment, a pivot table. So I can go and into the actual question of the assignment, tell them, hey, if you go to your file section, you will see this file that contains data, download it, and then submit your answer. So the first question was in regards to an assignment having the text. Actually, if you can submit the text or if you can reference it from outside, it depends on how you set it up. If you have your assignment, yes, you can type the text here, but also you have your different abilities to connect external links or to have, images in here. Absolutely, you can do that. So that's one way. Or something actually a lot of people do is that they share the files within the course itself, and then they go in here into the actual question of the assignment. Then they go into the question of the assignment and they actually say, hey, we shared a file in the course, feel free to download it and then, work based on that. So that's also a viable option. Now, there was another question that pertained. Hey, thanks. And again, sorry about this. It's a live show. These things sometimes happen, right? Now, sorry I forgot the names, but it dropped the connection. So I know two people asked the same question pretty much. How can we stop just people from pretty much clicking through the course or clicking through an assignment? Since we're talking about assignments, let's cover these first. So if I go back to my assignment settings, you will see that where it says how to complete it, I have two options. And I can complete it either when uploading an answer or when an instructor accepts the answer. So what's the difference? Well, the difference has to do with what the user, my learner, can do. So if I say that it will be completed when my user uploads an answer, if I go back to my course, you're going to see that I have my assignment here and then I have different things, right? So my learner can go to the assignment and basically after that, they can go to the next thing. They don't need to wait anything from me. So they give their answer and then they just move. This is if I pick when uploading an answer. However, a lot of people use assignments as a stopgap. So, for example, I want to have an assignment and basically I want everybody who's doing the course pretty much to stop where I have the assignment and they cannot actually go further than that. If that is the case, how to complete it, I'm going to select when instructor accepts the answer. If I pick this, then my learner goes through the course to find the assignment. When they find the assignment, they're stuck. They're going to give their answer and they cannot move forward within the same course. They are essentially waiting for the instructor, in this case it is me, or any instructor who is really in that specific course. So they're waiting for the instructor to actually grade that assignment. How do you grade the assignments then? Well, if I'm the instructor and I'm here at my homepage, remember, can the admin see this? Yes, but the instructor is the dedicated person who deals with the content. So it kind of makes sense that the instructor is also going to be the person who is actually going to rate these assignments. So as you see, I'm the instructor, and here I have assignment and ILT. And often I've heard a lot of people tell me, hey, Nick, I do not see this in my TalentLMS. You're not seeing it because you haven't built any assignments on ILTs. So this is why actually you don't see it. But the moment you will have something's going to show up. So assignment and ILT. And as you see, I have 10 heads here. So I have 10 pending people. So I can just click on that. And the system tells me I have 10 pending people. And this goes for assignments and ILT. So basically, I have to kind of decide and check if I have pending assignments or if I have pending ILTs. And as you see, I can sort, all the answers or just pending ones or the ones that people passed or failed. So I have an answer from Duncan here. I can click here to check the answer. Great. So basically, here is the answer. Feels like a copy paste from some site, right? So I'm just going to grade him. I click on grade, and then I can determine, did he pass? Did he fail? Pending means still we need to review it. I can give a grade here if I want. And on the comments, I can actually tell him. So maybe a thing I would like to do is, say, hey, Duncan, I like that you went through the trouble to give me an answer. I feel you plagiarized it, so maybe I'm not going to fail you, but I want you to answer again. Another thing you can do here, besides grading, is that if you click on the little mail, on the little letter pretty much, then you are able to actually send them a message. And you see it filled in the name of the person. I can have here the subject and the actual body of the email. And I can put the attachment as well. So very, very powerful. And again, I don't want you to worry in terms of continuity or people clicking through the course. Most people use assignments as a stopgap, so they select the option that the learner can continue only when the instructor accepts the answer. So basically, this sets it up for my learners to not click through the whole process. Let's see here if we have more questions. I see a question here. How does the instructor get notified when they have pending assignments to grade? Well, as we saw before, you just need to log in. As an instructor, you're going to see here what you have pending. Also, another thing you can do, though, is that you can actually set up a notification as an admin. So I can go here as the admin, because remember, notifications are created by the admin. Click on that notification. You can give it a name. And here I have a lot of different possible scenarios. We call them events here in TalentLMS. Now, specifically, we're looking for assignments. So I'm going to type assignment. And which one do we care about, really? Assignment submission. I'll click on that. And basically, this happens when somebody submits an assignment. If I want, I can use the filter to basically filter and say this works in this course and this one. So it will only be active when I have assignments into these courses and not any other. Bear with me. So who do I want to receive this notification? The recipient. Do I want this to be the super admin? No. I want it to be the instructor of the course. So I'll pick here course instructors. And this pretty much means that when somebody submits an assignment for this or this course, then the instructor of the relevant course is going to receive a notification. And because this notification is an automatic email, then I did the title for it. So I can say a user has submitted a reply to an assignment. So that's my title. And then I can write the body of the email and I can say, for example, hey, and I'm going to find here instructor first name from my smart tag. So this is dynamic. The learner. Which learner? Related user, first name and their last name, for example. Maybe I want to leave a gap between this. Has submitted an assignment for the course name. Feel free to grade it. There. Super easy. I can click on create notification. And then every time a learner submits a reply for this or this course and these assignments, then the instructors are going to receive this notification. I see a question from an anonymous attendee. When there are multiple instructors on a course, who grades the assignment? If you have multiple instructors of the course, well, they have the same permissions within the course. So if you have multiple instructors with the same permissions within the course, whichever of the two will be able to actually do it. So whoever, let's say, does it first. Do you have to load a course? Again, this is from an anonymous attendee. In the notification, in order to send an email to the user, can you create notification that will alert the user for all the courses? It does depend. It does really depend because it depends how you want to set it up. So let's look at the specific question. So your question had to do with somebody that is enrolled to a course. So I'm just going to type course here, and let's say it is a course assignment. Now, if I filter, and let's say I put these 3 courses, then this will only happen if somebody is assigned to this or this or this course. You do not have to use the filter if you don't want. If I leave it empty, and actually I do not use a filter, then it is going to happen for every course available in my platform, regardless of groups or branches. So it's your choice. If you don't want to use a filter, it's going to happen for everything. So if somebody is enrolled in 3 courses, they're going to get 3 notifications. In 10 notifications, 1 for each course. And I also see a question from Lucina. Does giving a pass to a student always give them 100? Is there any way to not show 100 as a score? 2 different things, honestly. Let me just go back to being an instructor. So let's say I go into my assignment here and I have Duncan. Let's say he passed, right? I can manually add the grade. So maybe, they got 95 or they got 91% and they passed. Can I do this? Absolutely. So yes, it would work. It wouldn't necessarily mean 100. Of course, if you leave the grade empty, then the system is going to assume and kind of default to 100. But if you want a different grade, just put it in manually for the person. Yes, this has to be a numerical grade for the person that just asked here. It has to be a numerical grade. I don't think we have any more questions, Theo.
You're right. We have answered lots of questions, and online on the chat and live in the webinar here, we've answered the 33 questions, and I'm sure you might have a lot more to come. So let me just share my screen right here so we can share with you all the details about how you can get in touch with us. I've also sent it on the chat, but I know that you might also want to see it on screen. So our direct email is success@talentlms.com, and you can send your questions. We can answer them. It's going to be me, Nick, or any other member of the team. You're definitely going to get a solid answer from us. And also, you're more than welcome to register for upcoming webinars on our website, which is talentlms.com/webinars. And I'm just going to give you a spoiler here. You know that we have a new UI, so you will always find resources in our upcoming webinars about the new UI. So the next 2 webinars that we get will be about that new interface. So make sure that you save your seat because they go fast. And finally, I would love to be able to share with you our also our survey that we have. So once we close the window, you will be able to reply to our quick survey, couple of seconds only. So that way we also know your feedback. And again, rest assured that any feedback you shared with us about features and functionalities will go to our product team as well. A final question, because we still have questions even in the closing minutes here, from my anonymous friend. Is it something that we guys do on a regular basis? It's been very helpful. Thank you, my friends. Yes, all of our webinars are on a regular basis. We do aim to bring webinars to you every other week, sometimes more often, sometimes less often. For example, maybe in big holiday seasons, we're not going to have that many, but we aim to be with you every other week, at least twice a month, so that way we communicate through our webinars and we help you adopt TalentLMS more. And again, not only yourself, but also promote TalentLMS to your peers and your colleagues. So thank you very much. Thank you, Nick, for answering your questions here.
Thanks a lot to all the people that submitted the questions. I hope that we help them out.
I also hope that as well. And we'd love to see your replies on the survey as well. So take care and see you next time. Bye-bye.